welcome back to my hotel room. Still in Palm Beach right now. I'm about to head out for an amazing spa day, which couldn't be more perfectly timed with this full moon in Sagittarius, as well as me just being kind of worn down after going to China and then California and then now Florida and then New York tomorrow. I'm so excited for this spa day. But I wanted to hop on and chat with you guys today about the full moon in Sagittarius because, well, I know you guys love when I, do my little moon rants, and hopefully it helps you with some feelings that are coming up for you right now and some things that are probably top of mind, which maybe you may or may not realize have to do with the lunar energy going on. So, first things first. We've been through kind of a crazy period the past, I want to say since March, really. It's been lots of energy. Like, you probably felt these intense periods of feeling like super motivated and super on track, and then also these periods of really needing rest and perhaps feeling a little bit confused and, maybe having some pretty major roadblocks come up your way and having to really dive deep and tackle them. And it's been a period of really exponential growth for almost everybody I know. And I really think this full moon in Sagittarius is almost, and again, I want to put a disclaimer. I always say this, I'm not an astrologer. I'm very intuitive, but I read all of the different astrology reports, and then I just try to say to you guys in my own words what I feel like is going on from everything I've read, because I've found a lot of the times with my clients and when I do workshops, people really enjoy knowing about the energy that's going on. The astrological forecast is kind of like the weather. So when we know what the energetic weather is, we can better navigate it. And also, sometimes we feel like that little rain cloud is just over our head. But, when you hear me say, oh, no, this is going on for this, I know for a lot of my clients, my one-on-one clients, they're always like, oh, okay, this is going on for everyone. It's not just me. And that gives them a lot of peace of mind. And it does, this feeling to know that we're all in this together and that we're all kind of working through the same things in different ways, it is really empowering. It can also help you have really great conversations with your close friends about this stuff and just really, see that connection and that community. And I'm going through all of this as well. So what's coming up with this full moon in Sagittarius, and what's really been resonating with me out of everything I've read, is this Sagittarius is kind of this truth teller, right? So it's almost like we've been through these past couple weeks where we've been going back and forth about this new idea of who we are. And what does that look like? And is it as black and white as we thought it was? And is it involve a new career change, or does it involve us pushing certain boundaries for ourselves? And now we're really like coming face to face with the truth of who we are and getting really clear on that. And it's kind of, for me, it's almost felt like it's kind of like weaving its way back in, and it's speaking to me through my intuition and through my GPS and through what's feeling expansive to me and what's feeling good and what's not feeling good, and really just owning who I am and what works for me. And I think during this period, it's so important to kind of get quiet, go inside, and have that conversation with yourself. Who am I and what works for me right now? And what works for you, is, what feels good to you? How do you operate? And I'm just going to be really transparent about this, because something that has come up for me recently was about wanting to go home, honestly, and really wanting to be back in LA and to just be grounded and in my place and writing and doing the work and creating the content that I love giving to you, and not really staying in New York longer and doing a live event and doing all of this kind of extra stuff in a period where I'm feeling really energetically drained as it is from all the traveling. And sometimes we can feel these outside influences, right? Like, I should be doing this, or I should do all these live events, or it has to look a certain way. And when we get really honest with ourselves, we see, okay, well, maybe that's how it looks for some people, and maybe that's how it works for some people, and maybe that's what speaks to them. And I don't deny that absolutely does work for a lot of people. But then really coming back and owning who we are, right? And owning what feels expansive to us, and both in our work and in our relationships, and really listening. And that's another theme that's come up. So first, really thinking about what's your truth? What's your truth, and how much of that are you letting being influenced by perhaps by social media or other people in your field, or things that you feel like maybe you should be doing? And really being able to kind of see that distinction and see, okay, this is what everything that I feel like I should be doing, but these are the things that my heart is really called to do. These are the projects and the things that I really feel like are the best use of me right now, that I feel most alive doing, right? Because when we're in our truth, we're taking care of ourselves, right? It's energetically exhausting to be pushing into someone we're not. And that does not mean to not be vulnerable, and it does not mean to not, push out of your comfort zone in certain ways. But I think it's knowing that fine line and knowing, like, okay, here's a great time to push out of my comfort zone and to be vulnerable. And this is a great opportunity to do that. And to know, hey, you know what? This feels more expansive right now. I feel more called to share myself in this way. And to just, again, this whole truth energy is just being honest about that, sitting with yourself and being really honest about that. The past couple of months, I think, since the new year, have really been this process of slowly, and maybe not so slowly, actually, really getting to know ourselves. And coming with that getting to know ourselves, I'll get to the listening in a second, is also getting to know the habits and the actions that we're taking that are perhaps maybe not in line with our highest truth. I know a lot of people that are struggling with different addictions or substance abuse right now are kind of coming out of the woodwork and really recognizing that. I've been seeing that more so kind of like third party with some other people I know, but I've noticed that that's a pattern too amongst friends and clients, is really people just getting to see their self-sabotaging patterns and things that are not working anymore, which is a perfect fit for a workshop that's coming up called Go Big, Shine Bright on Friday, which I'm going to tell you right now is 99% likely to be an online workshop. It was going to be both live and online, but I'm almost positive that's going to be all online right now because I'm just feeling really guided to cut my New York trip short and to take care of myself and to just go home. So, but we're going to really, regardless, it's happening. Join me on the interwebs, and we're going to dig deep, and we're going to really look at those self-sabotaging patterns that should be kind of like at the cream level where you can skim it this week because of all this energy that's coming up, and then really sitting in the truth of who we are and using that as a rocket to propel towards, what we're ready to create in our lives and the patterns we're ready to break free from. There's a lot of energy that's supporting that right now. And going along with both of those things, the last thing that I want to mention to you right now is this listening. So much of this has to do with the listening to our own intuition and the listening to our own intuition and honoring our own internal GPS, because we can say, and it's really funny because I was just thinking this last night when I was debating about this workshop, and I asked the angels for a sign, and I was like, please give me some guidance, right? And I'm watching reading all the full moon stuff, watching a bunch of full moon YouTube videos and just kind of like marinating in all my favorite peoples. And one of my favorite peeps is Doreen Virtue. And she did an angel card reading. And of course, right before I turned on Doreen, I was like, I know I'm going to get the message from Doreen, right? And the first card she picks up was cancel, delete. There were three of them, but two of the words of the card were cancel and delete. And she was like, Archangel Michael says to clear the calendar. And I was like, all right, okay. And then as she went on, the last card was about the ear chakra and about that listening and how we, have to kind of clear the clutter out of our lives and clear the noise that we allow other people's opinions. Maybe it's an addiction like sugar or alcohol that kind of blocks us from hearing clearly. But we really need to hear this so we can hear our own guidance. And then the key part of it is listening to it. And I thought that was a great point because I feel like it's come up with a few different things that I've been reading and watching this week where we're so great at asking for guidance. And I mean, maybe we're not all, but I feel like a lot of us, we're getting comfortable flexing our muscles, asking for the guidance, asking for the signs, maybe even praying and giving up our day to higher power and saying, show me what you would have me do, that Course in Miracles, prayer in the morning. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? What miracles would you have me perform today? I know for one, I'm great at doing that, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are out there in your own special way. And then as the day goes on, something happens, and we get that guidance, and we get that little nudge, and we don't listen. And what that feels like, it feels like a struggle. It feels like an internal conflict. And this is a beautiful thing that I've come to realize lately, is that whenever we feel this internal conflict, and for a lot of my life, I've really had that kind of internal battle going on about really silly stuff. Like, it would be like, should we go to the amusement park this weekend or whatever? And might have this like internal battle waging about it all week. And it was kind of unnecessary, right? But the thing is, when we're in that space of the internal battle, it's always because we are getting one message loud and clear and we're resisting it, right? We're getting the message, like for instance, got the message loud and clear for the past couple of days, get back to LA. Get back to LA. Get back to LA, right? The internal battle that I've been struggling with for the past few days is because there's still that, that consciousness that's like, well, I know my intuition is saying get back to LA, but like I like logistically I made plans to be in New York and I did all this stuff. And that really is, it's not saying that like I feel like I should stay in New York or that, whatnot. It's logistically saying, well, logistics say, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. But it's very clear what the voice of my intuition is. And I find that, if you really get clear with yourself on any matter, right? It could be, if it's a matter of the heart, perhaps your intuition is saying, this person isn't right for me. Or there's something a little off. I'm not, we always have those feelings, right? And then it's usually trapped in logic, right? That our ego comes in and says, he's a good guy, but he's a good guy. And you should probably, you don't know if you're going to find a good guy like him again, right? And that's not to say, right, that whoever it is could be a fabulous guy, right? Could be an amazing guy, or whatnot. But it's to say that oftentimes it's our intuition that isn't really logical, doesn't really offer us an explanation. I don't, I can guess at why my intuition is saying get back to LA. I think, it's taking a toll on my body, traveling so much. I'm feeling energetically drained. I have a deep desire to be home. And I just want that rest and relaxation that I know I won't really fully get in New York. But ultimately, when the message is coming through, it's not giving me all of these reasons, right? That's my logical mind that's like, kind of trying to figure out, well, why is that coming through? I thought I really wanted to stay this whole week. I was excited that, I'm finally back in New York, all this stuff, right? And so oftentimes when our GPS is blipping, when our soul's voice is coming through, it doesn't always feel logical, and it's not always going to be convenient. In fact, most of the times it's going to be really inconvenient, right? You're going to have to call up someone and cancel on something, or you're going to have to make a bold move. You're going to have to, be the one that says, I don't want to do this. Or maybe you're going to have to convince, have to say, I really do want to do this, and this is why we should do it, or whatnot. And that's a muscle that we all need to be practicing. And so this moon is really a good time for that, right? It's always a good time for that. That's so much of what we do in our spiritual journey is the whole point of this. And it was so beautiful because I was talking to my mother about it, the whole thing yesterday. And she was the one who, my mother reads all of Marianne Williamson and Gabby, and she reads all of my stuff. And she watches Super Soul Sunday, but she's still very much, kind of beginning her path and doesn't really have a meditation practice or anything like that. But she catches things every now, and she's really good at calling me on it. And, when I was talking to her yesterday about it, she was like, Cass, I know you're worried you're going to disappoint people, and you're worried, about all this stuff, but you are a stand for taking care of yourself. You're a stand for honoring your intuition, right? And so I feel like it would be out of integrity for you to do something like this that compromises your well-being, that you're feeling intuitively like you should be going home. And sometimes it's a really beautiful thing to have people like that in our lives that can kind of say, hey, this is really what your intuition is telling you. And when you have people close to you like that can really see through your BS, right? That can see, hey, this is what you want to do, and why are you fighting it? 9 out of 10 times you're fighting it because of what you think you should be doing. And we need to evolve past that, right? We need to be able to bow out with grace. We need to be able to, honor our feelings and honor our intuition from a loving place. This is not about, doing anything, of course, to harm or hurt or anything like that, anyone around you, but just getting really centered in the truth of who you are and what's coming through for you, both in the moment to moment when our intuition is giving us those little pings, and in the bigger picture when we're really taking a step back and saying, what is the truth of who I am, and in what ways have I been kind of squandering that or not letting that fully expand to its wingspan, right? So this full moon in Sagittarius is a great time to look at all those places. So tonight, find some quiet, light some candles, meditate, and I really want you to take a minute and journal, right? You can journal about this. Journal about what is coming through for you as your truth. What feels like who you are, and what parts of what you're doing right now are not feeling like you, are not feeling expansive right now. And then ask yourself what's coming up for you as some self-sabotaging patterns that are stopping you from fully expanding into that and fully listening. And then lastly, with your intuition, getting real with yourself. Again, this kind of pattern of getting real and being true and being honest is what have I been asking for guidance for, perhaps? What have I been asking for, but then not listening to the messages that are coming through for us, right? We get our guidance in these little kind of these soft whispers, right? And sometimes it's you're asking for more money, but then when the whisper comes along, hey, like, this is a great new project, or, you know, you should email so and so. Then we're like, I'll do it later. Like, that sounds like a lot of work, right? But it's like, okay, you asked for it, and then when it's coming through for you, you're not giving it the reverence. You're not holding it, right, for the gift it is. And if we want more of these gifts, if we really want this guidance to come through, this beautiful, you know, divine force that can truly guide our lives in a way better than we can, we need to start honoring it. We need to start listening to it, right? Because the more we listen to it, then the more guidance we get. You know, I get so much intuitive guidance around my career because when I hear it, I go for it. You know, when I get that ping, I'm sending that email. When I get that idea, I'm fleshing it out on paper. I'm emailing my mentors about it. I'm taking action on it. And I say this time and time again. I get asked all the time. People are always like, you know, what do you think made your business so successful? Or what do you think it kind of helped you, you know, blow up on the scene or whatnot, gain a following and stuff like that? And I swear to goodness that I really think my secret is that I listen. I listen to those hunches, and I listen to them so much around my business. And, you know, there are other areas, of course, that just like this one I've been really honest with you about, where I'm still flexing that muscle, and I'm still learning to, you know, learning to listen to it. But when we honor it and we're listening to it, we welcome in more. So I want to encourage you to keep listening to it right now. I know this has been a really long LightMAYker vlog, but it's the moon, and you know how I am on the moon. I can't stop talking about the moon. So I hope you're going to join me this Friday coming up, the 27th, for an online workshop that's going to knock your socks off. You're going to love it. We're going to go big together. I'm going to lead you through some Kundalini meditations. We're going to have a talk and get really just get in it on how we can both from the spiritual and from the practical level really go bigger, shine brighter. That's my little mantra. You know, going big to me really means just having the width of what you want in the world, of what you feel called to have. That means having the amazing relationship, the children if that's what you want, the finances, the job, you know, having that whole life that you crave. That's bigness and fullness to me. And shining bright is really being that bright light so that when you're moving forward, you radiate, you attract what you want. It's not this kind of going out and grabbing. It's sitting and being and allowing this beautiful energy to work for you and for you to go into every corner of your life and be a bright light and be the love in the room and truly, you know, be in the glory of who you are. So I am so excited to do this workshop online with you. And I hope you have an amazing full moon in Sagittarius. Please, please, please comment below. Let me know what's coming up for you around this. I would love to hear from you. Feel free to tweet at me or get at me on Instagram and let me know what you thought of this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. If you want a fun weekend activity, binge watch some of my LightMAYker videos. I also have lots of great guided meditations for tonight under my meditation playlist. So if you're, searching for a meditation, check out one of those. The Let Go one, the guided meditation for beginners, which is the Let Go one, is a great one for releasing, and the setting intentions is also a good one for really setting the intentions of embodying the truth of who you are is. So I hope that you enjoyed this. It's always a pleasure. I love doing these videos, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, guys.